Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Whose dream are you living right now? Is it yours, or is it the dream someone else handed you? Because here's the truth. If you don't focus on yourself and your own dreams, you'll spend your life building somebody else's. See, the most dangerous distraction in this world is not social media, television, or the opinions of others. The most dangerous distraction is forgetting who you are and why you're here. When you focus on yourself and your dreams, you unlock a power that no economy, no boss, no critic, no circumstance can take away from you. That power is called purpose, and purpose makes you unstoppable. Stop apologizing for wanting more. That single statement can shift the entire trajectory of your life, but most people don't let it sink in because they have been trained to believe that wanting more is greedy, selfish, or arrogant. You were taught to be content with what you have, not realizing that contentment and complacency are not the same thing. Contentment is gratitude for where you are, but complacency is settling for less than what you are capable of. There is nothing noble about shrinking your dreams so that others feel comfortable around you. There is nothing virtuous about denying your potential just to fit in. When you apologize for wanting more, you are apologizing for the very gift that was planted inside of you before you were even born. Wanting more is not about wanting more stuff. It's about wanting more impact, more growth, more influence, more opportunities to serve, more possibilities for the people connected to you. The dream that burns inside you is not just for you. It is for every life you will touch. That's why you cannot afford to shrink it. If you lower your vision, you lower the outcomes of every person who was supposed to benefit from your courage. The desire for more was not placed inside you by accident. It is the evidence of your assignment. It is the whisper that says you were designed for something bigger than the box you are currently in. But here's the problem: the world has conditioned you to play small. As a child, you had massive dreams. You imagined becoming great, traveling the world, building something extraordinary. You didn't censor yourself. You didn't calculate probabilities. You just believed. Somewhere along the way, teachers, parents, bosses, and friends told you to be realistic. And you listened. You stopped saying what you really wanted. You started shrinking your vision down to a size that wouldn't attract criticism. You learned how to smile and nod when someone told you that your dream was too big, all the while burying your passion deeper inside. The truth is that every extraordinary thing we see in the world exists because somebody refused to apologize for wanting more. The buildings that scrape the skies, the planes that fly across oceans, the businesses that employ thousands of people, the technology that connects us right now, none of it came from people who were realistic. It came from people who said, I will not apologize for the size of my vision. I will not apologize for believing that I can do what has never been done. The Wright brothers didn't apologize for wanting more when they believed human beings could fly. Henry Ford didn't apologize when he said he would create a car the average worker could afford. Every breakthrough you enjoy today exists because somebody wanted more than what society told them was possible. Stop apologizing for wanting more money. Money is not evil. It's a magnifier. If you are kind, generous, and compassionate, money will allow you to express those qualities on a greater scale. If you want to build schools, feed families, create opportunities, or change your community, money is one of the most powerful tools you can have. Apologizing for wanting more money keeps you in a cycle of lack. And that lack doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone connected to you. You can't pour into others when your cup is empty. You can't lift others when you're still stuck in survival. Stop apologizing for wanting more influence. Influence gives you the ability to move people toward positive change. When you step into your dream and expand your voice, you have the power to challenge old beliefs, spark new movements, and open people's minds to new possibilities. Influence is leadership, and leadership is service. By apologizing for wanting influence, you are refusing the opportunity to serve at the highest level. Stop apologizing for wanting more growth. Growth is the process that ensures you never stay stuck in the same patterns. Every time you push yourself beyond your limits, you expand your capacity to handle more, achieve more, and become more. Growth is uncomfortable, but so is regret. Which discomfort would you rather live with? The discomfort of stretching yourself into new levels, or the discomfort of looking back and realizing you could have been so much more than you allowed yourself to be? Stop apologizing for wanting more freedom. Freedom is not selfish, it is necessary. Freedom gives you the time, energy, and resources to pour into your purpose. Freedom means not being shackled by debt, not being controlled by a job you hate, not being confined by other people's expectations. Freedom allows you to wake up every day and put your energy where it matters most. Without freedom, your dream suffocates under the weight of obligations and distractions. You see, every time you apologize for wanting more, you send a signal to yourself and to the world that you are not worthy of it. You reinforce the lie that your dreams are too big, too far-fetched, or too impractical. You teach your subconscious to settle. But when you decide that you will no longer apologize, when you decide that your dream is valid and your desire is sacred, you step into a new realm of possibility. Doors begin to open. resources begin to flow. Opportunities that once seemed invisible begin to appear because your focus and your belief have aligned with your destiny. Focus creates multiplication. Most people think success comes from doing more, but the truth is success comes from doing less with more intensity. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the sun. The sun shines everywhere, but nothing burns until the rays are concentrated. The moment you focus that light, you can set a leaf on fire. The energy was always there, but it was scattered. That is the story of most lives: scattered energy, scattered effort, scattered results. When you learn how to focus, you multiply your impact in ways that look almost miraculous to those watching from the outside. The challenge is that the world is built to keep you distracted. Everyday notifications, advertisements, opinions, and opportunities are fighting for your attention. You can spend your entire life chasing distractions and still wonder why you never got where you wanted to go. Distraction is the enemy of multiplication. You don't multiply results by adding more activities to your day. You multiply results by focusing on the few things that matter most. The greatest trap is not failure, it's dilution. When your energy is diluted, your results will always be small, no matter how hard you work. Focus requires clarity. You cannot multiply anything you have not defined. Too many people say they want success, but they haven't even defined what success looks like for them. They say they want freedom, but they haven't defined what kind of freedom: financial, time, location, or emotional. They say they want wealth, but they don't know how much is enough to live the life they desire. Without clarity, your focus is blurry, and when your focus is blurry, your results are weak. The sharper your focus, the stronger your multiplication. Think about a farmer. If he takes a handful of seeds and scatters them across a field without any order, some may sprout, but most will be wasted. But if he plants those seeds in rows, waters them, and focuses his effort on cultivation, the harvest multiplies. Focus is the difference between scattering and sowing. Scattering feels busy. Sowing feels intentional. One creates frustration, the other creates fruitfulness. Focus is also about depth, not just direction. When you focus deeply on mastering one skill, one craft, one business, you unlock levels of excellence that casual effort can never touch. A person who spends 10 years dabbling in 10 different areas will never outproduce the one who spends 10 years going deep in a single area. Dabbling creates familiarity. Focusing creates mastery. Mastery is where multiplication lies. Because when you master one thing, you can leverage it into multiple streams of impact and income. That's why focused people seem to do so much with so little effort. Their depth creates leverage. Focus multiplies because it compounds. Every day you return to the same vision, the same discipline, the same habits, you build momentum. Momentum is the compound interest of focus. At first it looks small, almost invisible. But as days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months, the growth becomes undeniable. The person who focused for 3 years will always outpace the person who drifted for 30 years. Focus turns small, consistent actions into massive results over time. The reason most people resist focus is because it feels restrictive. They fear that if they focus on one thing, they will miss out on other opportunities. But the truth is, when you focus, you don't miss opportunities, you create them. Scattered effort keeps you in survival, but focused effort pushes you into overflow. The person who focuses on one business long enough to succeed gains the resources, credibility, and influence to branch into other areas later. Focus is not forever. It is the foundation. Once you've multiplied in one area, you can expand into others with strength instead of desperation. There is also a spiritual dimension to focus. When you align your energy with your assignment, you call forth resources you didn't even know were available. Focus signals faith. It says, I believe in this vision enough to put all my energy here. That kind of faith attracts clarity, wisdom, and partnerships that distraction could never deliver. When you focus, you're not just multiplying your own effort, you're multiplying the opportunities that flow toward you. Most people underestimate how much power they actually have because they have never experienced the force of focused living. They are running on fragments of energy, scattered ideas, and half-hearted attempts. But when you bring all of yourself into alignment with one clear direction, you multiply your power. A candle can light a room, but a laser beam can cut through steel. The difference is focus, the same light, the same energy, but one is scattered while the other is concentrated. That is what your life becomes when you learn to focus. Your dream requires a new version of you. That is why the person you are today cannot fully carry the weight of the vision that burns inside you. If the version of you right now was enough, the dream would already be a reality. The reason it still feels out of reach is not because it is impossible, but because it demands growth, transformation, and expansion. Dreams are not just goals to be achieved. They are tools designed to shape you into someone greater than you were before. Every big dream you carry is really an invitation to evolve into your highest self. Think about it. Every time you've accomplished something worthwhile in your life, you had to change in order to do it. You had to think differently, act differently, and commit differently. The same will be true for the dream that keeps you awake at night. It requires you to shed old habits, let go of limiting beliefs, and adopt disciplines you may have resisted in the past. The dream will not adjust itself to your current level. It will demand that you rise. If you are not willing to change, you are not willing to achieve. The dream you desire may require courage you have not yet shown. It may require confidence you have not yet built. It may require consistency you have not yet practiced. That is why so many people abandon their dreams halfway. They realize the dream isn't just about building something external. It's about building someone internal. And building a new version of yourself is uncomfortable. Growth is rarely convenient, but is always necessary. The new version of you will need to speak differently. Words have power, and your current vocabulary may not match the future you are walking into. The way you speak about money, about success, about opportunity, about yourself, all of it must shift. Instead of saying, I can't, you begin to say, I will. Instead of saying, that's too hard, you begin to say, that's worth it. Your language creates your reality, and the new you cannot afford the old conversations. The new version of you will need to think differently. Thoughts create beliefs, and beliefs create behaviors. If you are thinking like a person limited by fear, scarcity, or doubt, your actions will always align with that. To step into your dream, you must cultivate thoughts of abundance, possibility, and faith. You must learn to question the old stories you've been telling yourself. Stories like, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the resources, or people like me don't succeed. Those stories have been keeping you locked in your current self. The new you writes new stories. The new version of you will also need to act differently. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. You cannot carry inconsistent habits into a dream that requires consistency. You cannot carry procrastination into a future that demands urgency. You cannot carry excuses into an assignment that demands responsibility. The dream is not waiting for more motivation. It is waiting for more discipline. Motivation is temporary, but discipline builds permanence. This transformation will also require you to change your environment. The new you cannot thrive in the same atmosphere that tolerated the old you. If your surroundings are filled with negativity, doubt, or complacency, you will be dragged back into old patterns. Sometimes the hardest part of stepping into a new version of yourself is leaving behind the comfort of familiar places and familiar people. It is not that you stop loving them, but that you recognize you cannot stay the same and grow at the same time. The new version of you will demand a higher level of responsibility. With every dream comes a price, and the price is responsibility. Responsibility for your time, responsibility for your thoughts, responsibility for your results. The old version of you may have blamed circumstances, but the new version of you will understand that you are the architect of your destiny. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it is the very thing that unlocks your power. The transformation required by your dream is not meant to break you, it is meant to build you. Every challenge, every setback, every delay is not a sign that the dream is failing. It is a sign that you are being shaped. Precious diamonds. Fire refines gold. Struggle builds strength. The process is not punishment, it is preparation. If the dream were handed to you in your current form, you wouldn't be able to sustain it. The journey forces you to become the kind of person who not only achieves the dream, but also maintains it and multiplies it. Silence the voices of doubt. Those voices come in many forms. Sometimes they come from the outside, family members who mean well but do not understand your vision, friends who fear you will outgrow them. If you succeed, co-workers who laugh at your ambition because they settled for less and want you to do the same. Sometimes those voices come from the inside, the whisper in your head that tells you you're not enough, that you're not ready, that you don't deserve it. Whether external or internal, those voices are designed to keep you small. If you do not silence them, they will drown out the sound of your dream. Doubt is subtle. It doesn't always show up as an outright, you can't. It often disguises itself as logic, as reason, as practicality. It will say things like, be realistic, don't aim too high, you should be grateful for what you already have. And while gratitude is essential, doubt twisted into a weapon, convincing you that desiring more means you are ungrateful for what is already present. That's not true. You can be grateful and still desire growth. You can be thankful for where you are while still pursuing where you are meant to be. Gratitude is not the enemy of ambition. Doubt is. History proves that every great accomplishment began with someone silencing doubt. The Wright brothers didn't listen when people told them man was not meant to fly. Thomas Edison didn't stop after thousands of failed experiments because he silenced the doubt that said it couldn't be done. Every invention, every innovation, every revolution exists because someone refused to allow the voices of doubt to control the narrative. The difference between dreamers who succeed and dreamers who give up is not talent, resources, or intelligence. It is the ability to silence the voices that say, oh, possible. Silencing doubt is not about pretending it doesn't exist. Doubt will always be there. It's about refusing to give it authority over your decisions. You may feel it, you may hear it, but you do not obey it. You learn to recognize the voice of doubt for what it is, a defense mechanism trying to protect you from discomfort. The human mind is wired to avoid risk, And your dream looks like risk. It looks uncertain. It looks dangerous. So your mind creates doubt to keep you safe. But safe does not create growth. Safe does not build legacies. Safe does not fulfill destiny. One of the most effective ways to silence doubt is to surround yourself with voices of faith, belief, and encouragement. If the loudest voices in your life are telling you to settle, you will eventually believe them. But if the loudest voices in your life are speaking possibility, you will begin to believe that too. Environment matters. Who you listen to shapes who you become. If you want to silence doubt, you must raise the volume of belief in your life until doubt becomes a faint echo. Another way to silence doubt is through action. Doubt thrives in hesitation. The longer you wait, the louder the voices become. But when you move, when you take the step, when you act in spite of the fear, doubt begins to shrink. Action is proof to your own mind that you are capable. Every time you act, you give yourself evidence that the voice of doubt was lying. Evidence builds confidence, and confidence silences doubt. Your words also play a role in silencing doubt. What you say about yourself shapes how you see yourself. If you constantly speak words of limitation, I can't, I'm not ready, I'll never figure this out, you are amplifying the voice of doubt. But if you declare words of power, I am capable, I will figure it out, I was created for more, you turn down the volume of fear and turn up the volume of faith. Your own voice is one of the most powerful tools you have. Doubt also disguises itself in comparison. You look at someone else's journey, someone else's progress, someone else's highlight reel, and you begin to question if your dream is even valid. Comparison is a thief. It magnifies doubt by convincing you that you are behind, that you lack what others have, that your pace is too slow. To silence that voice, you must remember that your race is yours alone. Your dream is not meant to look like anyone else's. You are not behind, you are in preparation. Finally, you silence doubt by building an unshakable vision. When your dream is blurry, doubt has room to argue. But when your dream is clear, detailed, and vivid in your mind, doubt has no ground to stand on. The clearer your vision, the louder your conviction. And conviction is always stronger than doubt. When you can see it so clearly that you can describe it in detail, when you can feel it so deeply that it pulls you forward, the voices of doubt lose their power because you already know where you are going. Invest in your growth like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The quality of your future is determined by the quality of the person you are becoming, and who you are becoming depends on how much you are willing to grow. Too many people want success without growth. They want results without change. They want the dream without the development. But the truth is you cannot hold on to the same mindset, the same habits, the same level of knowledge and expect to carry a dream that demands a higher version of you. Growth is not optional. It is the price of admission to your destiny. When you invest in your growth, you are planting seeds that will multiply for the rest of your life. A book you read today may unlock an idea that changes your career 10 years from now. A seminar you attend may introduce you to a connection that opens doors you didn't even know existed. A mentor you hire may save you years of trial and error by showing you what to avoid. The return on investment in your growth is immeasurable because knowledge and wisdom never depreciate. Unlike material possessions, which lose value over time, growth compounds. The more you grow, the more valuable you become, not only to yourself, but to everyone you impact. Growth requires humility. You cannot invest in your growth if you believe you already know enough. That mindset keeps people stuck in cycles of mediocrity. The moment you think you've arrived, you stop expanding. Growth begins with the recognition that there is always more to learn, always another level to reach. Always new skills to master. Humility opens the door to wisdom. The willingness to be a student, no matter how much success you already have, ensures that you remain adaptable, relevant, and capable of handling bigger opportunities. Growth requires sacrifice. You cannot grow without giving up something. It might be money you spend on courses or coaching. It might be time you invest in reading, practicing, or building new skills. It might be comfort you surrender because growth often demands that you step into unfamiliar and uncomfortable spaces. Every sacrifice feels costly in the moment, but the reward far outweighs the price. Sacrifice is temporary, but growth is permanent. The hours you spend developing yourself are hours that will pay dividends for decades. Growth also requires consistency. One book will not change your life. One seminar will not transform your destiny. One coaching session will not alter your trajectory. Growth is not an event. It is a lifestyle. Just like physical exercise, you cannot go to the gym once and expect lasting results. You must commit to a rhythm of growth, daily learning, daily stretching, daily improvement. Small, consistent investments compound into extraordinary transformation over time. When you invest in your growth, you increase your capacity. Opportunities do not go to the most deserving, they go to the most prepared. If $1 million opportunity comes your way, but you only have $1,000 mindset, you will mishandle it. The opportunity doesn't match your capacity. That's why some people keep losing what they worked so hard to gain. They never grew into the person who could sustain it. Capacity determines what you can carry. Growth expands capacity. The more you grow, the more weight you can handle, the more responsibility you can manage, and the more success you can sustain. Another dimension of investing in your growth is the relationships you build. Growth is not only about acquiring knowledge, It is also about expanding your circle of influence. The people you learn from, the peers you surround yourself with, and the networks you join are all part of your growth journey. One conversation with the right person can shift your perspective forever. One relationship can open doors that knowledge alone could not. When you invest in environments where growth-minded people gather, you are not just paying for information, you are paying for access. Access to wisdom, access to accountability, access to opportunity. Investing in your growth also builds confidence. Every new skill you acquire, every challenge you overcome, every piece of wisdom you internalize adds to your confidence. Doubt loses its power when you have evidence of growth. Fear loses its grip when you know you have invested in preparation. Confidence is not something you wait to feel. It is something you build through growth. The more prepared you are, the bolder you become. The bolder you become, the further you go. There is also a generational impact to investing in your growth. The knowledge, wisdom, and habits you develop are not just for you. They are for everyone who comes after you. When you grow, you break cycles of limitation. You create new standards for your family, your community, your organization. Growth allows you to leave an inheritance that is not just financial, but intellectual and spiritual. Your children, your team, your students benefit from the growth you invested in. The seed you plant in yourself multiplies into a harvest for others. Your dream is not just for you. It was never meant to be kept in the small box of personal achievement. The desire that lives inside of you is bigger than your own comfort, bigger than your own success, bigger than your own bank account. It is designed to ripple outward, to touch lives you may never meet, to open doors for people who would otherwise remain locked out, to spark hope in hearts that have forgotten how to dream. When you understand that your dream is not just for you, you begin to see it as a responsibility rather than a luxury. It is not about whether you feel like pursuing it. It is about whether you are willing to deny countless others the breakthrough that depends on your courage. Every invention you use, every piece of technology you hold, every system you benefit from exists because someone pursued a dream that was bigger than themselves. The person who dreamed of electricity did not just benefit his own life, he lit up entire nations. The person who dreamed of building railroads did not just create wealth for himself, he created connections that transformed economies. The person who dreamed of starting a company did not just create income for himself, he created jobs for thousands of families. That is how dreams work. They are seeds that grow into trees, and those trees produce fruit for others to eat. Your dream is someone else's harvest. The mistake many people make is thinking that their dream is too small to matter. They compare themselves to world changers and assume that what burns in their heart is insignificant. But impact is not measured by size, it is measured by obedience. A teacher who follows her dream to inspire children changes the trajectory of future leaders. A parent who follows their dream to create a business changes the financial foundation for generations. A writer who follows the dream to put words on paper may comfort a reader thousands of miles away. Your dream does not need to reach millions to matter. It only needs to reach the ones it was designed for. When you realize your dream is not just for you, excuses lose their power because now it is not about your fear, your doubt, your inconvenience. It is about the people waiting on the other side of your obedience. Imagine if the voices you admire had given up on their dreams. Imagine if the authors you read had never written their books. Imagine if the entrepreneurs who created opportunities in your community had decided it was too hard. If their dreams were for them alone, you would not be where you are. In the same way, someone's future is connected to your decision to keep going. Your dream also carries a generational assignment. What you build will not stop with you. The knowledge you gain, the wealth you create, the systems you design become a foundation for those who come after you. Too often, people pass down struggles because they never activated their dream. They pass down scarcity because they never pursued abundance. They pass down fear because they never confronted it themselves. But when you pursue your dream, you break cycles, you change the story, you hand the next generation a new set of tools, a new set of beliefs, a new level of possibility. Your dream is the bridge between what has always been and what can finally be. Your dream is also a solution to problems bigger than yourself. The world is filled with challenges, poverty, division, lack of opportunity, hopelessness. But inside every problem lies a dreamer who sees differently. Your dream may look like a business, but it is really a solution. It may look like art, but it is really a message. It may look like leadership, but it is really a light in dark places. When you see your dream as a solution, you stop treating it like an option and start treating it like an assignment. People are struggling right now, waiting for the solution only your dream can bring. Your dream is not just for you because it was given to you for stewardship, not for storage. A gift is not meant to be hidden away. It is meant to be used, multiplied, and shared. Keeping your dream to yourself is like burying treasure in the ground and pretending it doesn't exist. You were entrusted with it for a reason. The skills, the passions, the visions you carry were not random. They are tools placed in your hands to fulfill a purpose larger than yourself. The truth is that the fulfillment you seek will never come from success alone. Success can fill your bank account, but only significance can fill your soul. When you see your dream changing lives, when you see your courage inspiring others, when you see your vision opening doors, That is when you feel the true weight of why you were given the dream in the first place. Significance is found in service, and service is found in pursuing the dream that was never meant to stop with you. So my challenge to you today is simple: stop looking around and start looking within. The answer is the power, the dream. It's already inside you. Focus on yourself. Focus on your dream. Focus until your vision is so clear that distractions disappear. Because when you do, you won't just change your life, you'll change the lives of everyone who comes after you.